Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Eisenherz and today I want to describe 5 more of the most common cEDH deck archetypes. If you want to see part 1 of these videos, you should click the link that should appear right here, right now. So without further ado, let's get started. Evolution decks get their name from one of their core cards, Eldritch Evolution, but they can also evolve or adapt quite easily to an ever-changing meta. These decks can be described as proactive creature-based combo decks that have very high card quality. The main goal of these decks is to tutor creatures into play that combo off to create infinite mana, which can then be dumped into an outlet, most optimally the commander. One of the key characteristics of these decks is that they play a lot of to-the-battlefield tutors like Eldritch Evolution, Neoform, Wargate, Court of Calling, or Finale of Devastation. They use these tutors to tutor creatures into play very easily, which can then combo off to win the game. Most decks also layer in the usual Underworld Breach plus Brain Freeze combo, or Thassa's Oracle plus Tainted Pact or Demonic Consultation. Common commanders are Thrasios plus Bruce, Thrasios plus Akiri, Kenrith, or my favorite, Omnath Locus of Creation. Polymorph or Poly decks are named after the core card Polymorph, which lets you destroy a creature and then flip cards off the top of your library until you hit another creature, which can then be put into battlefield without casting it. The main strategy is to cheat a very impactful but also high CMC creature into play in order to combo off with it. The most notable targets for polymorph effects are Hullbreaker Horror or Tightbow Tyrant, but also Glinthorn Buccaneer or even Godo. Decks that have access to more colors than blue also play additional polymorph effects like Proteus Staff, but also Reality Scramble, Divergent Transformation, Luca, or even Oath of Druids. For this strategy to work reliably, 2 deck building restrictions have to be met. First, you cannot play any other creatures than the one you're trying to hit with the polymorph effect, and then secondly, you need a creature to sack into that polymorph effect, which usually means that you have to play either a commander pairing or you have to play a commander that creates a token. Common examples would be Urza, Thrasios plus Rograk, Thrasios plus Tavesh, Malcolm plus Cadiz, and Arden plus Rograk. Pot decks are named after the incredibly busted, repeatable Neoform effect that is Birthing Pot. The main strategy of these kinds of decks is to use Birthing Pot in order to repeatedly cheat creatures into play. Some pot decks are more stacks and hate bear oriented with impactful creatures like Magus of the Moon, Archon of Emeria or Linvala, while other decks are more proactive and combo oriented and only use the pot to tutor combo creatures into play. What's special about Birthing Pot is that it provides a repeatable tutor effect, which can be used as a 1-card combo to tutor a line of creatures into play that win you the game. Most notably, Felidar Guardian, Karmic Guide, and Kiki Jiki. Common commanders for pot decks are Tymna plus Tana, which is usually a more stacksy deck, or Thrasios plus Bruce Tal, which is usually a more combo-oriented proactive deck. Storm decks are named after one of the strongest and most busted mechanics MTG has ever seen. Storm, an effect so strong that the scale to measure the strength of MTG effects is actually called the Storm Scale. The goal of these decks is to chain spells into each other in order to create value. While cards with the actual Storm mechanic see play in these kinds of decks, it's not a must. Usually what Storm decks do is they find a way to regain resources like mana or cards while casting spell after spell, digging deeper and deeper into their library until they can find a way to finish the game. Some of these decks are also referred to as manual Storm decks, which simply means that there is no deterministic loop involved in creating a huge Storm count. Common examples for Storm decks are Korvold, Birgi, Krark Sakashima, Selvala, Tavesh Krark, or Kenrith the Return King. Razaketh decks revolve around Razaketh the Foul-Blooded, a demonic tutor engine that allows you to tutor up any combo in your deck as long as you have life to spare and creatures to feed to him. The goal of these decks is to cheat Razaketh into play, either by reanimating him or using a to-the-battlefield tutor such as Eldritch Evolution. Now you pay life and sacrifice creatures into Razaketh in order to tutor up any compact combo that allows you to win the game. Most Razaketh decks also have lines that allow you to create more creatures in order to be able to tutor up even more cards afterwards. Common examples would be Kuldotha Rebirth, Life Death, or Leonin Relic Water, which, together with a reanimation enchantment, allows you to infinitely tutor via Razaketh, only capped by your life total. Common decks are Edgar Markov, Tymna plus Thrasios, and of course the glorious Kalia of the Vast. And with that, I'm out. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share the video with your friends, and leave a comment down below. It really helps me in the algorithm to get my videos out there to a larger audience. Thank you for watching, and auf Wiedersehen.